Tēnā koe, it's Eugene here. This is just a little snippet from our DCR Aid Station podcast, which came out on Wednesday. It's a conversation with journalist extraordinaire Suzanne McFadden about her interview she did with Sandy Barwick, who, of course, held the record that Camille Herron took for 34 years. Sandy is from Aotearoa, New Zealand, and Suzanne interviewed her. And so we got her on the show to have a chat about her conversation with Sandy, and it was fascinating, and we wanted to share it with you. If you want to get on board with the DCR Aid Station podcast, which comes out every second week for our paid subscribers, I'll put a link in the show notes. Yeah, we'd love to see you there. Enjoy. So, she got 11 world records. She eclipsed Sandy Barwick's 549 miles, the distance from 1990. And, of course, Sandy Barwick is from good old Aotearoa, New Zealand. And we are joined in a special, it's usually locker room co-pros. They steal our stuff. But this time we're stealing their stuff. And so locker room founding editor Suzanne McFadden, who happens to live in this house, interviewed Sandy, and conveniently she's come along to join us here. Kia ora, Suzanne. No,
Kia ora.
Mai mai.
Kia ora. It's been a long time waiting in the other room. How many years?
5 years.
5 years waiting.
Yeah. Then you got the invite.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So Camille ran 560 miles in 6 days, which is just astonishing, and got past Sandy's record. How was Sandy when you spoke to her?
She was fantastic. She has just actually come out of hospital after having major spinal surgery. And the beautiful thing was that she had to spend a week lying in bed in Auckland or in a hospital in Auckland, I should say. So she was able to spend that time watching the race from her bed.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's not surprising to me that she was really excited that her record after 34 years was finally eclipsed. You know, she says records are made to be broken. What always drove her was the records, and she wasn't ever running those distances for fun. She loved it, but she always wanted to win. So she's been surprised that for 3 decades no other woman has beaten that record, but she wanted to she wanted it to be Camille. I think she had been watching her for the last few years, and she said, that she would be the woman who would achieve that. And but she also said that she wishes she had run that far, and that she could have, but there were all these other things that she wanted to do as well, like the 1,300-mile Sri Chimnoi. And so she never actually got back to run another 6-day race. But now she's kind of like, oh,
damn it.
Wonder, yeah. And she actually could have pushed herself, she reckons, a bit harder in that race when she did set the record, but she mucked around a bit after she set the record.
I do have one question. Why have you got your radio voice on? You're doing your radio voice.
Oh, sorry. This is how I talk when I'm holding a microphone.
Yeah, exactly. But this is just us.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'd actually like to not to get into the way of any sort of interdepartmental squabbles at this, this font of journalistic powerhouseness. But I quite like Suzanne's voice on the mic. It adds an air of professionalism that's seldom seen around this neck of the woods. So
yeah,
I'm all
could
for it.
Have been swearing. Do you want me to do that?
We'll just bleep it out with the dog.
Yeah. Matt, did you know that Sandy Barwick did some of her training in good old Mother Riverhead?
No, I didn't. I was actually going to ask Suzanne, Sandy Barwick's record in 1990. I mean, this one with Camille, it was all the bells and whistles Lululemon were doing. They were taking biometric data, and I guess they were doing, taking on the field testing gear and thinking about all that sort of stuff, and actually there was it was all the setup. Sandy Barwick, I'm guessing in 1990, her record was run in far less sort of salubrious fashion. Where was she?
She was in Campbelltown in Sydney, and she did have a small team around her, but that was really quite early in her ultra running days. So she didn't have sponsorship, I don't think, at that stage. She may have had a little bit of money and a lot of beer from Kiwi Lager, and enough money. I think she said she put up $16,000 to get her and a small crew there. So yes, I actually asked her about what she ate, because I was very interested to see what Camille had imbibed? Consumed.
And imbibed.
Yes, indeed. She drank some Guinness draft. She ate tacos and chocolate ice cream bars, and some really interesting foods, which I wouldn't really, though having seen what you guys eat when you do tarawera, maybe not pizza and watermelon, maybe not so surprising. But that's when Sandy said that her favourite food was spoonfuls of Marmite.
Oh.
Yeah, and in fact, when she ran in New York, she forgot to take her Marmite with her, so she had to get it couriered over.
That is a niche nutritional intake. But I guess if you're sponsored by Kiwi Lager, I mean, the only empty Kiwi Lager cans you see are on the side of the road, eh? Like, if you have a drink of Kiwi Lager, you're going to need something to take the taste of it out of your mouth, like a spoonful of Marmite.
Yeah.
Isn't
Marmite and beer made out of the same stuff anyway?
It is. But, I mean, you could say that about, I guess there's a bell curve of what, the humble yeast
yeah.
can make, and Marmite's at one end and maybe Kiwi Lager's at the other, or depending on your taste, maybe they're both at the same.
Yeah.
What does this mean, do you think, for women's distance running? Camille's record. I mean, how long do you reckon this will stand for?
Well, I would hope it wouldn't stand for another 34 years. I mean, you guys know better than me, perhaps, who might be coming through the ranks. I think if Camille wants to, she can probably go further.
Mm-hmm. Sandy had some interesting ideas about why Camille had been successful, didn't she?
Yes, speed. She said speed. She said that was something that she learned how to do as she went along, was to get faster. So she used to train every Sunday. She'd run 10 hours to get her body used to doing 10 hours on, 2 hours off, 10 hours on, 2 hours off. So she would run right around Auckland, like 100 k's around Auckland. And some people that would run with her.
Guess who got her into running ultras?
Was it old Gary?
Oh, Gary. Yeah, she loves Gary. She said he was her rock. And, yeah, he was the one who convinced her when she'd run 14 marathons that she'd be, well suited to do an ultra. And she said, what's that? And he said, anything over 50 k's. And she said, okay. And then, he entered her in her first race, and then she did, I think her first main event was the 24-hour record. She set the 24-hour race, and she set the Australasian record in straight away in her first attempt. Yeah, and someone had to ring up her dad in the morning and say, I think you better get over to the Millennium because your daughter's about to set a record. Yeah. But yeah, she said speed, but then also Camille's stamina, to keep going at the end. And yeah, she was just so excited. And there were other American female runners who were there who were messaging her while she was in her hospital bed during the race. And she said she gets a lot of calls from them and messages asking her for advice on what to do. And so, yeah, she's still able to be involved. She's 75 now. She plays golf, and she power walks. So since she had her first spinal operation, she couldn't run, and that was in 2013. She stopped running, and now she power walks. So she's hoping that within a couple of weeks she'll be power walking again. Crazy.
Well, I mean,
not crazy, clever.
No, this is the thing, I guess, as well as, you think about her age when she set that record in 1990. So that's like 34 years ago. So she would have been 41. Camille Herron too is of that age,
yes,
around there or thereabouts.
Yep.
And, like when we spoke to her last, she was talking about how she almost felt that she'd been written off. Hey, Eugene, she was talking about, like, hey, I've broken all these world records. It seems like she is only... I get the sense that the next person to break Camille Herron's record is going to be Camille Herron.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, she is remarkable, isn't she? And so determined. Just astonishing, mental strength that she's got.
Yeah.
And that consistency, how many years has she run 100-mile weeks?
Yeah.
She does that tally. She runs her main run in the afternoon. She runs a small run in the morning. Well, small run in the morning, and she's banging out 100-mile weeks for something ridiculous, like 15 years or something like that.
Yeah. Speaking of mental strength, stealing all your story, Sandy Barwick, she trained herself in hypnosis.
Yes, self-hypnosis. And she used that in those 2 hours between the 10-hour running when she went in to the tent and got a massage and lay down on the massage table, and she'd be able to do self-hypnosis. And she said, a very short sleep would feel like 3 hours, and she'd be refreshed and up again. And she still uses that today just in everyday life. So she didn't believe in it when somebody suggested it to her, and she said nobody will be able to hypnotise me, but she could hypnotise herself. So there you go.
There you go. And she still holds some world records.
She does. She doesn't know which ones, except for the 1,000-mile. Does that sound right?
Yep.
Yeah, the 1,000-mile record, which she set in 1991, and she still holds that, which is really cool that she, she's still in the record. Well, she'll always be in the record books, and she will always be the first woman to complete the 1,300-mile Sri Chinmoy. And as she said, nobody can ever take that away from her. Yeah. She can lose her records, and she's fine with that, but nobody can ever take that away from her, which is cool. She's a really, really awesome woman. And, it was a real privilege to talk to her. So thanks for helping me find her. Sean. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Okay, well, thanks for that.
Thank you. I'll return to my normal voice now. See ya.
Thank you.
I have the feeling that's not the last you'll hear about Suzanne's radio voice, my friend.
There you go. That was exciting.
Do you know it? I'm a big Suzanne fan, and but true sports journalism powerhouse, right? Like incredible.
Yes.
And to have her on and to talk about what an amazing little old New Zealand, smashing out the women's record for 34 years.
Thanks, Rigby.